Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sarah's Creative Solutions and I'm Sarah. Hello! And today we're going to be building a very simple, easy sculpture template. It's 2-in-1, so as you can see from the video there, I'm showing you the cute character whale that I've made from this template, and also a life-size pear. So for you, those of you in ceramics that like ceramic fruit, the pear template's really good. It's actually a realistic life size in proportion. So we're going to go ahead now and start building the whale. So I'm cutting out the template for the whale's tail. There are 2 pieces for this, so you need 2 parts, one side, one the other. And then we've got the main body of the pear or whale, which I've already cut out there, as you can see, and the darts are already marked out. This template is ready to be downloaded. All the parts are included for the whale and for the pear on the template, and all the instructions are written on there that you would need. And then of course, to assemble it you just need to watch this video. So we're about to start to cut out the darts that are on the main body of this template. Now you need to highlight these darts that are showing on the template before you cut out the design. Make sure that you stick to the lines exactly, because this ensures that you get a really decent shape. So once we've done this section, we're going to slip this together, and we make slip by rolling out clay, let it go hard, smash it with a rolling pin or something similar, and then transfer the dried crushed up clay into a watertight container. I use jars. Then add water so it just covers the contents and nothing else, nothing more, not too much water because we want a nice thick consistency. So let that then settle for about 10-15 minutes, and then that should give you a really nice thick slip. This is also exactly the same way as we build the pear body. It's important that you use the same clay body that you're building with. It's not a good idea to use casting slip or any other kind of slip. It has to be the clay body that you're building with. So just like I say, take a little piece of clay from the bag that you're using and let that dry out, smash it up and add the water. So now it's time to slip these pieces together. I don't actually need to score in this instance because the clay is fresh from the bag. And it sticks together quite well with the thick slip, so I don't bother doing that. But if you was to have left your clay for a period of time as you've gone slightly firmer than fresh clay, then you would need to score at this stage as well. Time to do the second piece and do exactly the same process all over again. Now it's time to smooth out all those joins and round out the bottom and right down to the nib. Keep pinching gently. We don't want to squash the clay because that will stretch it. We want to just pat it into place basically. We're going to fill in all these joins now with extra clay. So make sure the other one is the same. Turn it upside down if that helps and pinch the sides. See what I'm doing there. Make sure all the joins are still slipped together and staying together. Now we can look at the tail. So the tail, we're just going to make it hollow slightly. So we're going to pinch it between your fingers only in the areas where we want it to be hollow. So not around the edges, just sort of where the thickest part of the tail is, as you can see I'm doing here in the video. Now in this video I'm using a little plaster bat that I've cast myself just for small parts to help them firm up slightly quicker. And because this is a tail, we obviously want it to be firm and not floppy. So I use the plaster bat just to help draw the moisture out that little bit more. But as you can see, you need to pinch both tail faces exactly the same to get that hollow effect. Check them against one another to make sure they still match and that there isn't anything overstretched or distorted. Then once you're happy with them, just take away the inside edge on both pieces with a trimming tool, just like I'm doing here in the video. Not too much, just enough to take that edge away so that they fit together better. And then we're going to score those areas and apply lots of thick slip. Now it's time to score. I'm scoring using a wire brush that I've made, but you can buy these things on the internet just the same, or you could just use your needle tool and score crisscross patterns all the way along the edge. Now I'm decided to leave those firm up a little bit more by leaving them on the plaster slab, and I'm going to go back to the main body and check all those joins and see if there's any bits I can add and smooth out and secure them, stop them from coming apart. This stage now, we've let this slip firm up slightly and the moisture evaporates, so it's secured the join enough for it to be handled more. So now we're just blending in those joins even more now so that they can't be noticeable where they were. And once if you can see that one's coming apart just slightly, so just push it back together and then blend with your finger. You can do this with a brush if you want to, but I wouldn't add any more water because the reason why these joins aren't as strong as the rest of the body is because they're still very wet. So adding more water would just mean that it wouldn't join together. So it's got to be a dry finger or a dry brush. And then make sure the shape's right. And make sure the edge of this part of the template is flat. So you can do that by pushing it down onto the board, giving it a little tap. So do this on both pieces, exactly the same as what you did before. So now back to the tail. So now it's time to add that thick slip. They've firmed up slightly, being on the plaster bat, and now we can start attaching them together. You can decide how you want to do this. You don't have to do it the same as me, but I like to use a pinching motion. As you can see, I'm only sticking to the very edge because this is only slightly hollow, this tail. But we want to keep it hollow so that there's no moisture pockets and there'll be no chance of it exploding in the kiln. So we're just pinching the very edge all the way around, and don't forget we took some clay away from the inside, so this is now narrower than the rest of the clay body anyway, so the thickness is staying quite consistent. So as you can see, it's quite easy to do, it's quite nice to do actually, and then just smooth out the very edge with your finger or a dry brush. There we have it. So that's the tail done. Leave that to dry in the plaster bat, and now we're going to go on and do the same with the body. just like to mention that I haven't added the pear video because it's very, very simple to do and shouldn't really need video instructions, particularly because this video covers how to build the pear body. So this is basically what you would do if you were building the pear. You would build these two halves and then slip them together, just as we've done in this video. And then just to add the stalk, we poke a hole in the very narrow end at the top once it's gone firm and slip that in. Make sure it lines up, make sure that the two halves haven't lost their shape, and then just keep pressing and blending until you feel that it's joined together. You could even do what I've just done there, support both parts in each hand and then just slightly move backwards and forwards. This will ensure there is a good join. So now we're going to add the tail. You can use a nice sharp needle tool or an orange wood stick, and that's how we're going to attach the tail like that. So that pointy end of that tail there, or the shaft, is going to go into the hole that we're going to create. Now if you wanted it bent upwards, the tail, then you'd have to bend that shaft just slightly in the direction that you would like, as I'm explaining there. And as you can see there, I'm showing you that we need to prop up this tail once we've attached it, like so that it's supported as it goes leather hard. Because if we don't do that, then the weight of the tail of the clay will just cause cracking, and this tail would need to be supported the entire time until it's gone leather hard. You mustn't take the support away too early while the clay is still wet, because that will damage your sculpture. So now we're going to add the hole. I'm going to use my needle tool and I push it all the way through until I get to the handle of my needle tool so it makes the hole big. But you could use anything that you've got that's sharp. And then I changed the needle tool for a wooden sculpture tool to make the hole bigger so that it doesn't stick to the metal. And here I'm just mentioning that in the UK at the moment they sell pears in like an egg boxing type material that's shaped as a pear, and they're really good for allowing my pear sculptures to dry out. So I'm just showing you how well they fit in this sort of egg box pear container. So that might be worth a keep if you've bought some pears recently and you've got this container. It's really handy for drying these out without marking them. So this is where I was swapping it round for a sculpting tool that's made out of wood, just making the hole big enough to take the shaft of the tail, but without pulling apart the joins. So add plenty of slip, nice and thick, in the hole and on the shaft of the tail. Make sure you've positioned the shaft of the tail and the whale body before you do this, because we don't want to add extra strain when we join. Now we must remember to support the tail at this stage straight away and let that slip go firm. So now I'm adding the fins to the whale. Now I've added this part to the template for you, so there's no guesswork for you. But here I'm just cutting out some fins from some clay that I've got standing by, and then we're just going to score and slip those on. Then after this stage you can add eyes, you can mark out the mouth, and you can design and pattern your whale in any way that you like. So as you can see there, I'm just using my stamps for my eyes, but you can roll out some clay for your eyes if you want to, or you could just mark out some eyes in the clay body itself. So this bit's left to your decision. Now for the pear, I've added on this template just a stalk and a leaf, which is very simple to follow and cut out. And then all you do is make the clay body exactly the same as we've done with the whale, poke a hole at the top and then push the stalk in to the top and attach the leaf after. You don't have to attach the leaf if you don't want to. You could just go for a plain stalk, as not many pears do include their leaves when we purchase them, but you could do one with a leaf, one without a leaf, so that you can add more pears in your fruit bowl. So I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of the video. Thank you for watching. If you would like a copy of this template, then it's available on my Etsy shop, and the link to that is in the description for this video. Thanks for watching.